Chapter 5: The Cost of Freedom. Back in Oyo, the impact of the slave trade was devastating. Families were torn apart, villages emptied, and the once great kingdom was plunged into chaos. The arrival of guns had shifted the balance of power, leading to more wars as chiefs turned against each other in a desperate bid for control. Chief Olewale, who had once been a respected leader, was now viewed with suspicion and hatred. The wealth he had gained from the slave trade did little to protect him from the wrath of his people. When news spread of Adewale's capture, the town elders decided it was time to act. They sent word to the neighboring towns, rallying warriors to rise against the chief and his European allies. A bloody battle ensued as the people of Oyo fought to free their loved ones. The sound of gunfire echoed through the night as the warriors attacked the European outpost, where captives were being held before being shipped off. But it was too late for Adewale and Amina. They had already been taken across the sea, their fate sealed in the hands of strangers. Chapter 6: The New World. Adewale was sold to a sugar plantation in the Caribbean, where he was given the name Adam. His sister, Amina, was separated from him and sold to a different owner. The life of a slave was brutal, with long hours of backbreaking work under the scorching sun. Any disobedience was met with the whip, and the overseers were always ready to punish those who tried to resist. Despite the harsh conditions, Adewale refused to be broken. He remembered the stories of his ancestors, warriors who had fought against invaders and protected their land. He found solace in the songs of his fellow slaves, songs that spoke of freedom, of a homeland far away. Over the years, Adewale became a leader among the slaves, organizing secret meetings where they planned their escape. The plantation was a place of horror, but it was also a place of resilience. The slaves formed a community, helping each other survive the brutality of their captors. One night, after years of planning, Adewale led a rebellion. They set fire to the fields, using the cover of darkness to escape into the mountains. It was a risky move, but they were determined to fight for their freedom, no matter the cost. The journey to freedom was fraught with danger, but they were guided by the stars, the same stars that had once shone over Oyo. Chapter 7: The Legacy of Colonialism. Back in Nigeria, the Europeans were not satisfied with the profits from the slave trade alone. They began to colonize the land, exploiting its resources and turning the people into subjects of the British Crown. By the late 19th century, Nigeria had been carved up by European powers, who extracted its wealth for their own gain. The British imposed their rule, stripping the people of their autonomy and imposing new laws that favored the colonizers. They introduced taxes, forced labor, and took control of the lucrative palm oil trade. The rich culture of the Nigerian people was suppressed, their traditional leaders replaced with colonial administrators. But the spirit of resistance never died. The memory of Adewale and the warriors of Oyo lived on in the stories passed down through generations. The people of Nigeria continued to fight for their freedom, and in 1960, they finally gained independence from British rule. The Cost of Freedom.